that what you guys feel like today? Trapped inside? Because it snowed outside. We're waiting for this. The weather turned nice. It's like 33 degrees outside, lots of snow. I'm going to go shoot, but I'm looking for something to do a video on. And I realized when I was looking at my bow just now that this one, the new EXE Scream, I forgot to put string silencers on. And it's a recurve bow, so there's going to be slapping that goes on right here. And we're going to put Velcro on, the Velcro padding on there to quiet this out. But we got to make some string silencers, and I don't want to put beaver balls on. So what I'm going to show you guys is how we're going to make, using zip ties, we're going to make a movable pom-pom style string silencer that lets us go and position that puff up and down the string until we find the sweet spot. That's what we're working on today. But first, the intro. Okay, step one, we got to put something on these surfaces right here, because really the majority of the noise that a recurve bow makes is when the string slaps against this surface right here. And the best thing you can do is put some kind of padding on. Now the question was, what kind of padding should you put on and how do you stick it on there? In the past they made double-sided, they made a sticky-sided animal skin that you could put on there, but far and away, guys, the best thing to use is the fuzzy side of Velcro. So that's what we're going to do, is take a piece out and actually just whatever the length is, we're going to put it on somewhere about, starting about 2 fingers down, because you don't need it right on the tip. You don't need it right in this area. That's not what makes the slap. When the bow, when you're pulling on the bow, that part never actually breaks contact. But instead it's going to be this area that's right down in here. This is what needs to get covered, because that string is going to actually come flying in and go whack, whack, whack. If you can squeeze your fingers here like this, then the string can reach that part, and that's where the noise is actually coming from. So if I can squeeze it with my hands, I can't squeeze right there, so the string's not going to reach it. But if you can squeeze it right here, then the string is absolutely going to reach it, and that's going to be the whack, 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 like that. So this is the section that needs to be covered with Velcro. Let me go get that started and I'll show you what it looks like. In fact, one thing I want to do is actually test it here, and then I'm going to go and lay a little piece of tape at the beginning, at the end, because it's really easy to lose track of where this actually is happening. As soon as you take the string off, you don't remember where on the bow, and you're going to misposition it. So I'm going to squeeze right here. I can't quite bring that together right there. So that's going to be my marking point, and then I'm going to go up as high as I can with whatever length this Velcro is. See this length? Whatever length that is, I'm going to start right here and work my way back up here, and whatever I get, I get. But I got to make sure that there's Velcro right here, or I'm going to end up making a lot of noise. So in fact, since I never used the hook side of all of this, I may as well use that as my little marker. I'm going to take a scissor and cut off a little piece and just mark with that. Don't go anywhere. There's a couple of little pieces. And again, they're just going to be little markers. So I'm going to peel this off right now. And I'm going to start squeezing. Squeeze, I can reach it, I can reach it. I can't quite reach it, so that's where my marker is going to go, is right there. Let's test that one more time. Measure twice, cut once. Yeah, can't quite reach it. So that's where we want that's where the Velcro is going to start, is right there. We're going to do the same thing on this end. I'm going to squeeze. Actually, I got to get rid of that. I got to get rid of that brush button first. That's going to throw everything off. The brush buttons are coming off. They're doing more harm than good. They're annoying. All right, I'm squeezing, squeezing. Can't quite make it here. Can't quite make it here. Can make it right there. Need to take the Velcro off again. Whoops, sorry. All right, right about there is where the mark needs to be. I'll wrap it around. And I'll wrap this around. It's easy to peel this off afterwards. And now I'm going to unstring the bow, and we're going to go and put that Velcro on. So let me pause the camera for a second. Okay, the bow is de-stringed. And since I got ILF limbs, I'm going to make it really easy to work on by popping the limbs out. God, that's easy to work on. And the first thing we got to do is we got to lay that Velcro from here as far out as here as we go, especially inside that knock, that groove right there. So I'm going to take a piece of the fuzzy side. And what I mean by the fuzzy side is if you compare that to the hooky side, here's the hook side. You see those hooks? That's scratchy and useless. It's the fuzzy part that we want because it has damping properties, but it's also made of polyester, plastic, so it's very waterproof. And since this all is about hooking things together, the adhesive that they use on here is amazingly powerful. So here we go. See if I can get this lined up on the camera. Right there is where I want to actually position it. Right smack in the middle, and then I'm going to slowly lay it down the middle of the groove. There. Get it in that groove. And it is rocking. You'd be surprised how much quieter that's going to be already. Just from that, let me put the other one on. Again, we're going to take part of the fuzzy part off. This is the fuzzy side. Peel it. Try not to touch the sticky part. As soon as you touch it, oil off of your hand gets onto that material. It's going to make it less adhesive. This side is already pretty clean. I don't have to worry about trying to put something on there. All right, I'm going to put my thumb right here. I'm going to line that up with the center. Now I'm going to lay it down the middle. Down the middle, down the middle, down the middle. Pretty good. Perfect? No. Does it need to be? No. There. Now we've got two perfectly good quieters that when that string hits here, it's going to be significantly quieter. And the only thing I got to do now is put the bow back together, put the string back on, restring the bow, and the next step is going to be putting the pom-poms on. Let me peel the little marker off. It's already remarkably quiet right now, but what you're going to see is that I've mostly damped out the vibration that's happening in the limb and the slap, that slap that's happening right there. I still need to damp out the vibration in the string itself. And that's why we need the pom-poms. So let me pause. In fact, I got to charge my phone up for a little bit, so I'll be back in about an hour. Okay, our next step is to start cutting up little pieces of this cordage. I bought some cheap parachute cord, and we're going to cut up, oh, I don't know, we'll start with 4 of these per side. We're going to just cut these a particular length. I just used 4 fingers. I try not to use tape measures and stuff like that, guys, because it just doesn't matter. Nothing about archery is that precise. If it's that precise, it should be measured in terms of how many wraps of serving on your bowstring, but not a dimension like 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters, something like this. Let me finish cutting the rest of these out, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. I want to get these almost the same. So what we're going to do is make essentially a pom-pom. Now I've got 4 there. I've got 2 here. Got 2 more to go. And that should be enough to make a silencer. There's 3. And there's 4. And I'll use a 5th one as my guinea pig just to show you guys what's going to happen. Cut this. Now we're going to take a peek at this. what I'm going to try to do is open up all of this material we don't want. We want what's on the inside, and those little fibers are what will separate and turn into a wonderful little puff ball. Do you see that? So let's try to pull that out. Try to tease it out on this side. Not easy. There. It's acting like when you pull on it this way, it acts like a little Chinese handcuff. So what I'm going to do is try to bunch it up, and then it comes right off. And I'm left with the fibers. Now let's tear these fibers apart and see what this is all about. In here, which fibers, Mark? There's no fibers in here. Mark Reinhardt said there's going to be fibers in here, and it's actually, this particular piece is nothing but a piece of, oh gosh, it feels like your dryer pad that you put inside your dryer. That's useless. What if this is what he was talking about? We can use this. No, that's not what he's talking about. I got the wrong damn cord. I need the one that's got filaments on the inside, not rolled up cloth. This is useless. So it really matters what kind of parachute cord you get, because you need the kind that actually has filaments on the inside, and I don't have them. No filaments. No filaments. No string silencing. Unless I find it. No, forget it. I'm going to go in over here into my wife's. I'm going to go into my wife's knitting and go and get some yarn. We're going to use that instead. I'll be right back. I'm back. My wife's getting me mad. I got that bundle over there. I got to try to talk her into saying I bought it for her. We're going to take a piece of this. And we're not going to need much of this, guys. We're going to need, again, 4 little bundles. And we're going to leave it like this as we zip tie it on. Because you shoot it enough, and this will spread out all on its own. Don't need to kill yourself about that. So let's go and cut up, again, lengths that are 4 fingers wide. 1, 4 fingers wide, 2, 4 fingers wide, 3, 4 fingers wide, 4 for one side, 4 fingers wide, 1, 4 fingers wide, 2, 4 fingers wide, 3, and 4 fingers wide, 4. You'll be able to play with that. You'll be able, when the pom-pom forms after this, you'll sit and snip it all around like you would a hedge, and it'll all work out fine. All right, so the next part, let me see where this is all pointing. Looks like this is the center of the camera right there. So now what I'm going to do is open up this little Velcro thing. Sorry, the zip tie bundle. We've got all these little zip ties. We only need 2. And this, the fact that this is going to wrap around, your bowstring, and then we're going to clip it off. There's going to be a flat little spot there that's going to allow you to actually slide it up and down until you find out where you really like it. And it should stay put. It should give you just what you're looking for, that combination. If I tie this all the way up, you can see just how tight that can actually be. That's really small. Let's see if I can show you this a little bit better. Let me put my hand here, otherwise it won't focus. There, you can see how small that actually gets. And I'm carrying a little extra mass from the button that actually holds it on. That's okay. When you look at how big some of those rubbery dog bone, wishbone, dog bone silencers are, they're way bigger than that. All right, let's get this potentially in place. I don't want to have to move it a lot. So I'm going to set it here, and I'm going to try to measure. Here's my knocking point, and I want to be halfway. So if I put my finger on my knocking point here, and my finger on my bow loop over here, then if I put my thumbs out, I already know I'm halfway, I got to just split it right here. So that is where I need to put my little zip tie. I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to wrap them in a zip tie. I'm kind of spreading them all around evenly on all the four sides. Just spread them out so they're not all on one side of the bowstring, if you can figure that out. I'm going to get this started. There, that's what I wanted to hear. I'm going to make sure, I got to make sure I get it right on the halfway point, because you're not going to be able to tease that and fix that later on. There. It's not on really tight yet. I'm going to measure this one more time. Pinky on the knocking point, pinky on the loop, stretch my thumbs out. So I've gone the equal amount in both directions, and now I get to say I need to go halfway here. This is where it needs to go. I'll slide it up, and that's where I'm going to cinch it up. I can feel 2 or 3 more clicks there. There, 2 more clicks. That's not going anywhere. Now, I come in here, I actually clip off the rest of that, and that is ready to go. I'm going to take about 10 shots, and all of this will completely fray out. I don't need to do a single thing to it. Let's go do the other side, and then we're back to the archery range. We're going to go test this. Let's get our 4 in place. We're going to kind of measure where we're at. Knocking point, right about there. I got to split the difference. I need it to be right there. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 little bundles right there. We're going to go grab a zip tie. Wrap it around. Hear those first few clicks. Don't cinch it down all the way. Cinch it down so you can move it. But so if you let go, it stays. Measure one last time. Measure, knocking point on this finger way over here. You guys, maybe I need to back up a little bit. There. There. Let's find the center of that camera. Center of my viewfinder. It's right about there. And let's measure again. Finger on the knocking point, finger on the loop, thumbs towards the end. Now I just have to split this side visually. And actually, that's actually perfectly positioned. So now I'm going to cinch it up. And we're going to finish cutting off the rest of that tag end. There. It's ready to take out to the archery range. And if you look at it this way, what's going to happen is that as I start to pull on this, you're going to see that it's already starting. You see how fast that happens? And it's happening on the bottom one too. They're already starting to puff out. They'll completely puff out all on their own. Didn't need to tease it out at all. Eventually that's going to be a wonderful little fake beaver ball. And these were made out of change them out as often as you need. Let's go to the archery range and test these suckers out. Back to the archery range. Okay, everybody, we're back. retesting the EXE Screamer, the EXE Scream Riser, the 35-pound Hunter Deluxe recurve limbs. But what we did was actually add a little piece of Velcro here to try to damp out the string slap, both sides. And you guys saw me use just a little zip tie and some of my wife's yarn. And we're going to shoot this until all the little filaments fall off. Let's take a few shots at 20. It's the big tall bag out there.
Holy mackerel.
What just happened? That sounds fair.
It does sound quieter. Take your time. Look down the tip of that arrow like you're just watching the deer and waiting for the shot.
Yeah, he gets a little too quick.
I was going to use the analogy of being a sniper, but I don't think the mom would approve. Definitely less slap. We got to shoot about 30 shots through it before all these filaments start to leave just whatever final residue is there. The groupings look nice too. Then the next thing I'm going to show you guys is that I actually started adjusting my knocking point on here. I'm a little low. You guys remember previous videos I was saying a good starting place is knocking about one arrow width higher than perpendicular. But I'm seeing that I need to actually go up about a full ½ inch higher, and I get a much smoother shot with zero porpoising of the arrow. In perfectly decent groups considering how little concentration I'm putting into it.
Go through twice as many arrows as everybody else, but take your time.
We're going to wait our turn, go take a look at those arrows. Going to watch some other people here. Here's a real archer, and then there's just those compound archers over there.
That went way out there.
Not the same thing.
Too far.
Take your time.
You're doing good.
Fast, bud.
Yep, take your time. Enjoy what you're doing. Yeah.
Are you, like Mark told you before, you canting, you said, right?
Yeah, you can cant a little bit. You can tip it just a little bit.
Stays on there.
Tell us your name. You're on my YouTube channel now. Carson. You just got a new bow for Christmas? And you were incredibly good, so what else did you get?
A new computer.
No, arrows.
Arrows, more arrows.
No, computer says.
And with your Amazon gift card, what did you go buy?
You're talking to a data scientist. You got to know when to get away from the laptop and stop training models.
Are home with the PS5 and the PS4.
All the competition.
You're out on a beautiful day today. Actually, it's beautiful.
When the wind stops, yeah, it is. It's just gorgeous out. We're still waiting for one last guy here. Clear.
Clear.
Let's get
Hey Carson, I wouldn't run, bud. You don't want to step on one. Just take your time. They're not going anywhere, buddy.
The one tough thing about shooting on a day like today is if you come in hot and fast and flat, you're going to trap your arrow underneath the crust of the ice and above the grass. It gets really hard to find. But there's just that first little grouping right there at 20 meters. Oh, that's why it's spread out. Somebody moved the bag away from 20 meters and I was using a 20-meter gap. I was kind of wondering. We're going to pull this in a little bit and then take another shot at 20. So hold on. Actually, I changed my mind. We're going to do something different. See that 20-meter mark? It's right here. If I turn and rotate, we're actually farther away. Our bag is farther away than 20, so I'm going to show you how to make little minute adjustments. We're going to measure this. We're 21, 22, about 23. We're actually, the face of the bag is at 23 meters instead of 20. So I'm going to show you guys how to make little minute adjustments like that. We're going to aim still for center of mass on the bag right here. And I'm going to show you how to make little tiny adjustments to try to account for numbers like a 3-meter change from 20. It'll be fun. Let me go pause for a second.
Buddy, you were the first one
Here we are shooting again. We're doing
Hold it
we
on
all,
there.
we all
Hold
have
it on
to
there.
retrain ourselves.
Gosh, you're all over the place, buddy.
Over there.
Yeah, great.
It happens.
Hey, try to hold it steady.
Gonna do a couple more groupings.
Hold it steady.
Oh,
Try
I was
not
going
to
to show
drop
you.
it. Try not to
We got to
drop
make
it
a
much.
20-meter gap, and then we got to compensate for 23. So step number 1 of the VOGTLAND string walking is to go to your 20-meter gap. And now we got to compensate for the fact that that bag is really 23 meters. What do I got to do? I got to go up. How high? If I go up a half a finger, that's going to put me at 30 meters. So I got to go up only a quarter of a finger. Sorry, yeah, a quarter of a finger, and that gives me a 25-meter gap. That's a perfectly good starting point. So let's make an adjustment. Step 1, choose your gap. First it's at 20, and then I compensate a little bit for 25. Step 2, draw back under your chin. 3, look down the left edge of the string. 4, tip of the arrow. Right smack center mass of that target. Enjoy it. Pause, breathe. Step 5, small motion release. Nice and straight. Doing a little bit high because I'm changing my knocking point. Make a little adjustment. Do it again. Step 1, choose your gap. 20, 30, halfway is 25. I'm going to go just a little bit lower. Now I've got my gap. Step 2, draw back under your chin. 3, look down the left edge of the string. The left edge of the string right over the top of the arrow. Step 4, put the tip of the arrow right where you want it to land. And 5, small motion release. Nice easy shot. Let's shoot the rest of these.
Remember, put your arrow right on where you
I
want
like
to go.
that better.
Put your arrow right on that.
I made one more little adjustment. What I'm really watching for is the position of the arrow. I'm watching to see if it's porpoising up and down, and it looks like it's completely gone because I've lifted my knocking point on the bowstring up about a half an inch. So I'm going to be tying a new, let me show you guys. This is actually where normally I was knocking underneath my knocking point, and now I've gone up a whole half inch. And it actually, the bow's happier this way. From bow to bow to bow, you're not sure what you're going to get. But you feel it. The damping, the vibrations damp completely out of the bow. Let's do one more.
No, you don't do that. You're fine. You think your animal's going to be straight on with you? No, come over here. Come back over here.
I can't get it right in the face.
Getting ready to pause, and we're going to shoot at 100 for a little bit because it's such a nice day.
That one literally right under.
Take your time.
Okay,
Way too
we
quick.
just saw that making little puff string. What's cool about these puffs is that since they're on a little piece of zip tie, is that if I need to make a minute adjustment, it's as easy as sliding them back and down. They happen to be in a great spot where I picked, so we're going to use them to shoot at 100. And that'll be a good way to finish this video out. Remember, for my video, a 2-finger gap is going to put me out at 90 meters. One. Did you hear that?
I heard it. Carson, we're not leaving until you hit the far target.
I'm always happy when I get 1 for 1.
I can actually see it, believe it or not, still.
Great,
Hey,
not
listen, see if
shifting.
you hit it. Carson, listen. There you go.
2 for 2. I'm trying to be super cool, but secretly I'm pleased. I always like to get the first one on because that's the one that matters. You know, the elk's not going to stand there for the second shot. Ooh, got
Just
it.
barely.
3 for 3. It's clinging.
It counts.
If I was shooting at a hippo, that would have been a kill shot. Sure of it. 3 for 3 so far.
Tell Mark you told Mom you're going to put a squirrel on the table for dinner.
Oh, yeah. So that Chippy actually?
That one landed
Well, short
short,
on
and I
that
don't know why. I saw it actually hit the dirt. I think that arrow was tired. Okay, we're 3 3 for 4 so far.
That lamp broke. You hit it?
I don't know, I didn't hear
No,
it.
I think that was a little short.
Yeah.
I heard something.
Yeah, I think that was hitting the ice.
Yeah, it's the sound of mud. But thanks for suggesting. We're 3 for 5 so far. See if we get 4 for 6.
Last arrow. Does that make
Last arrow.
I'm taking my time on this one. Yep.
Ugh. It was kind of a 4 for 6, but that might have been wood, like I caught the side.
Bottom left.
We'll go take a peek.
Okay, try.
Oh, wait, I gotta film you too.
Hurry up, get one more.
Here, pressure's
Get
on.
got your last one. You better hit it, Harry.
Okay.
Hurry up, they're waiting for you.
We're watching.
Hold it on.
Take your time.
There you go.
Nice shot.
All right, yell it.
On film, making it onto YouTube. I'll get a verbal release since I'm talking to a guy, his dad's a lawyer, so I gotta be careful. Let's go run down there.
Fence attorney at that.
You're either my best friend or my worst enemy. Looks like everybody's out here today. Everybody must have got new compound bows for Christmas. Let's go see how we did. Got 4 out of 6 on in cold weather. Remember, it's a lot harder when your fingers are cold. Icky, slicey weather here, but as long as there's no wind, it's surprisingly nice out. I don't even have a hand warmer. This would be the day that if there weren't any people here, I'd be walking up inside those hills and trying to find the latest deer trail, the path. Oh, 3 out of 6, one's in the wood, but check that one out. That was my very first shot everybody got to see. I'm super happy at 90 meters. What do? We dampened out we found a poor man's cheap way of silencing a bow, a recurve bow. Velcro, the woolly side, strips on the outside backing where the string makes contact during impact, during release. And we just made regular yarn plus zip ties to hold the puffs on to make the string dampers. And the result is that we get something that slides up and down, we can adjust it. Super cheap, adjust it to suit your fancy. If it wears out, put another one on, because what did it cost you? A penny? That's it. This is Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. It's 2021. Happy New Year to everybody, and we'll see you out there. Cut!